started in just a second. Oops. Hey, everybody. My name is Harlequin Murray, and I am your co-host this evening, as I always am on Monday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is Ellen Winn's Team Zoom. And for those of you who are here for the very first time, we welcome you. We're excited that you've joined us and look forward to getting to know you. But anyways, for everybody else, welcome to you as well. But for those of you who are new and are not familiar with Ellen, just a little bit about her background. She is originally from Dallas, Georgia, which is where she lives now. It's just outside of Atlanta. She grew up on her family's farm out there. And when she got out of school, she went to work in the restaurant industry and worked in several different capacities doing that, worked her way up to a district director and a training manager for Domino's Pizza until she decided to take off and become her own business owner. And she has owned her own business in various forms and fashions ever since. But she started out, she owned a couple of different pizza restaurants and got started with that. So she knows what our business owner clients are going through as far as needing money, payment processing, healthcare, all those fun things. But then she was introduced to network marketing a few years after that, and has been in network marketing ever since. I initially met her. She was the national training director for a company. That was about 18 years ago that I met her, 18 years ago. And we have been friends ever since. She is a phenomenal person. She has been with DAC, or David Allen Capital, for a little over 5 years now. And she is an area director in the DAC compensation plan, which is, she was the first one in the field to reach that level. So super proud of her for that accomplishment. But anyways, without any further ado, Miss Ellen, can you take it away and get us started tonight?
I can. Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that. I'm getting everything queued up here so that we can go into presentation mode. I was sending out a text message, that last minute reminder to folks that we have a live Zoom. Excuse me. So we'll start seeing some people pop in here in just a second. And as they are now. All right, guys, thank you. And I love getting started on time, and appreciation for your time, taking time out of your Monday evening to spend time with us. So first, I want to get us into presentation mode. I've got some slides put together for us. And you should be seeing that on the screen now, Harlequin. You see that? Looks good. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, guys. DAC, fueling the American dream, whether it's through business owners that need our services, from getting funding through their local, that can't get funded through their local bank, but are looking for alternative working capital, to businesses that are overpaying on their payment processing, or overpaying for healthcare services, or don't have healthcare at all. For individuals, we have all of these services. Tonight, we're going to talk some on DAC Protect, but we're also fueling the American dream by providing an incredible business opportunity for those of you and I, independent agents in the field. We have a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan. I am an independent agent just like you are. I am not on the corporate payroll. I make money when I am qualified and meet the compensation plan requirements just as you do. And when I bring personal clients to the table, I get paid as well. So you can make a significant income building your business here with DAC, whether it's just you wanting to get clients on your own and earning off of your own efforts. Excuse me, I've been talking a lot today and my voice is wanting to go away. Or you can also build a significant income by building a team. In fact, you can earn a lot more money if you want to build a team. So that's a great lead in to top recruiters. I had stopped doing this about 3 weeks ago. I was putting a lot of time and energy into the top recruiting numbers, and I didn't do it for 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row. And I told Harlequin earlier, I'm like, I got to recognize top recruiters because it just didn't feel right to do that. So I'm going to go back in time a little bit. For the week of 9/25 through 10/1, we had 3 people that made it to the leaderboard. You had to have at least 2 or more recruits to be named on the leaderboard. For that week, we had Ben Randall's in first place, tied with Steve Scott and Taylor Made Cash. Each had 2 new agent recruits for the week. All in all, we had 21 agents who had at least 1 new recruit week of 9/25 through 10/1. The next week we're behind on is October the 2nd through October the 8th. Here we had quite a few more people that had 2 or more recruits. And that was in first place, we had LaTerrence Dunbar with 6 new agents for the week. Ben Randalls came in second place with 5 new recruits for the week. And in third place, we had a 6-way tie between Anthony Janis, Pam Warnock, Hoffman LLC, LaTwan Brown, Nakia Kendall, and Ronnie McKellar each had 2 new recruits for the week. Numbers were going up. We had 41 agents all in all that had at least 1 new recruit for that week. So congratulations to those of you who made the leaderboard and who had 1 new recruit. And then last week, 10/9 through 10/15, we had first place, Ben Randalls with 6 new agent recruits. In second place, blast from the past, we had Eric Johnson with 3 new recruits. Good to see you back in action, Eric. In third place, we had a 5-way tie with Annette Blanchard, Pam Warnock, Hoffman LLC, Camonia Hyde, and Sophie's Training Review Center, each with 2 new agent recruits. So congratulations to you guys. For this week, we had 36 agents with at least 1 new recruit. So out of the 3 weeks that I just did recognition, if you made the leaderboard by name, congratulations to you. If you weren't on the leaderboard, like myself, I had 1 recruit 2 out of those 3 weeks. So you didn't see my name on the leaderboard, but for those of us that had 1 recruit each week, or even 1 recruit out of the 3 weeks, congratulations for helping expand your business and DAC as a whole. If you're not on the leaderboard, didn't have a recruit, but you're having conversations and you're sending the message out there and you're trying to talk to people about the DAC opportunity, it's just a matter of time before your name too will be on the leaderboard. So thank you all for all of your efforts bringing in new team members. Let's make sure that we're plugging everybody into the system, encouraging them to read their welcome letter from David Allen Capital that has all of their links in it. And also make sure you're communicating with them to be on the lookout for emails from me explaining who I am, that I'm your senior team leader, and that I'm going to provide additional support and some great tidbits of information outside of what we see in the DAC training. Okay. Because a lot of my emails don't get open. I see our numbers going up every week, but I don't see everybody adding themselves to my text list. So that's just a communication breakdown. And the communication from you needs to be creating value for why they want to plug in to the emails and to the team text messaging platform that I have in place. Okay. It'll help you grow your business. The next thing that'll help you do grow your business is plugging into Wade on Wednesdays with Wade at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time at daczoom.com. This past week, Wade did a phenomenal training on the top 10 reasons why a file has a lower offer than a client broker expected, client or the broker. The top 10 reasons a file received a higher than expected funding offer, and the top 10 reasons a file was declined. If you did not see that training, you definitely want to go back to the DAC Agents YouTube channel, which is just dacyoutube.com, and look for this training with Wade. Okay, there's a whole series. He does a short training every Wednesday, and it's just irreplaceable information. His knowledge and experience in the funding space really puts you in a position to be an excellent field rep here talking about funding with your clients. But the best news is you don't have to know all that he knows. You don't have to be the expert. He is the expert and his team is the expert for you. You just need to be a professional and know enough about the industry to get the right people to your websites. You really want to target people. I shouldn't say target, but look for business owners that are doing 50,000 or more in revenue. Those are the ones that are going to get some really good offers. Most likely they're going to accept offers from us, and most likely that's going to put a nice commission in your Relevate account. Okay. Now, coming up this week on Wednesday, Wade is going to be talking about something that's really, really serious. David addressed it today on our leadership Zoom, talking about companies that are help me, Harlequin here. What's the word with debt?
They're restructuring people.
Restructuring. Thank you. My mind just
Or
went blank.
refund. Yeah, what they're
Restructuring. It's restructuring,
Yeah.
yeah. So there are companies out there that are restructuring debt, and some of those companies are involved with DAC, or some of those agents that are involved with those companies are involved with DAC. And Wade is going to explain on Wednesday how Wade and David both are going to talk about how that could possibly get you terminated if you are one of those brokers that is bringing business to David Allen Capital and then turning around and trying to get paid on that client again by flipping them from, oh, we just got you funded. Now let me go in here. We can restructure your debt and eliminate some of these that you're having to pay back. We've had that happen. And David said there's a huge, huge uproaring in the financial industry, the alternative lending space. And some of these guys are coming together and going to be filing lawsuits against some of these companies. They're really doing unlawful things. And unfortunately, agents get drug into the middle of that. So make a note on your calendar right now to pay attention and watch that Zoom on Wednesday. Whether you can be there live or whether you're watching it on the replay, it's imperative that you know about it. Understand the repercussions that could come back to you in the event that you're involved in that. But also, if you're building a team, you want to know how this could impact somebody in your team. So if you ever hear someone working with that strategy, then you can point them in the right direction and let them know they're jeopardizing their business opportunity here. All right. So that's what's coming up on Wednesday. Hey, every day I get a message. 3 weeks ago, we heard from Carlene Penn, who was our most recent DAC 4 promotion in my organization here. And Carlene sends me a message of some sort every single day, text message, whether it's just a cheerful, uplifting, prayerful message or something on those lines, or she's giving me an update on what she's doing, right? Today, we had several back and forth communications going on, and the last one, she summarized some things that she's been doing, some additional training for herself, and that personal training, right? Outside of what we have in DAC, and that's great. I always encourage people to do that. But these are 3 things that she's summed up, and I wanted to share that with you guys tonight because all 3 of the things on the screen here are spot on. These are quotes from famous people, or she's paraphrased from someone. The last one from Peter Drucker is a direct quote, but it's spot on. It's something that I learned a long time ago when I first got started in the network marketing space, that successful people will do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do, right? Winners will do what losers won't do, right? So if you want to be successful, you got to be willing to do the things that unsuccessful people aren't going to do. You've just got to take that extra step. In most cases, it's not a massive step that you have to take to outdo the unsuccessful people. Just a few steps above and beyond what the average person will do will have you achieving far beyond your wildest dreams. The second thing, the fortune is hidden in my daily routine of activities. That is so true. I have that sometimes as a quote at the bottom of my emails in my signature line there, because your daily routine impacts what your results are, and your results turn out to dictate what your income is with DAC. And then of course, it's not how much we do, it's the effectiveness of what we do. So you can be sending out emails all day long, but if you're not following the training and sending unique subject lines and sending unique content in the body so that they end up in an inbox and get delivered, you know, you're going to have more success by doing that, following the training, than someone who is sending out 1,000 emails a day and just spamming people and the emails aren't getting open. So it's the effectiveness of what you do, the number of calls you have, the content of the conversation that you have, and then again, who it is that you're talking to. Okay, so a summary of what our compensation plan is. I bring this back around because our compensation plan is very complex and it has multiple layers and multiple ways to get paid. And a lot of people watch our compensation plan video, or they look at the compensation plan documents and their eyes glaze over and they come away going, oh my God, what is all this? I have no idea how I'm going to make money. I assure you, if you'll start getting customers, you'll start seeing how the compensation plan works. But basically, we have 6 different ways we get paid. We get paid through our bonus plan. We have services that pay a one-time bonus, funding, ERC. Those funding programs are the one-time bonus programs. And we also have Relevate. We're not talking about Relevate a lot right now because we're not pushing it. They've got a couple of things left that they need to finish on their side, like getting the Spanish speaking, not Spanish, but they've already got Spanish. The international transfer, money transfer, they've got to get that complete. They don't have direct deposit available to do mobile deposits. And that's something that would prohibit someone like myself from using that as a daily checking account, right? So they got some things that they got to still work on. We still have that relationship with them, but we're not aggressively promoting that until they can get a few things worked out on their end. And they've agreed that they need to finish up those things, right? So we have the one-time bonuses, then we have residual income, and we have car allowances. As you're moving through the compensation plan, you can qualify for car allowance. As you move on through, you can qualify for expense accounts. And as you move on through to the next level, you can qualify for revenue sharing. And then finally, you can qualify for equity shares when you hit the top levels in the compensation. But it boils down to 2 things. We get paid either with one-time bonus or with a monthly residual, services that pay one or the other. But understand, every one of our services contribute to the residual compensation plan. So just know that. You go get a customer, you're going to get paid, whether it's an upfront bonus or whether it's residually, you're going to get paid on your personal customers. No qualifications are required for you to earn income on what you do. Now, as far as getting paid on your team, yes, there are qualifications that have to be met, and you'll want to learn that in the compensation plan. But on the residual side of things, if you'll work towards getting at least 200 in personal residual revenue, you'll always get paid residually on everything that's going on in your team practically. So you want to make that a personal goal to get 200 personal residual revenue points. So as we're talking about residual revenue, I want to talk about a service that we don't talk about a lot. I want to bring this up. I enrolled 2 customers today on the ID Protect, and I'm going, you know, I'm going to talk about this with the team tonight because we just don't talk about it enough. Okay, we've got a great product, a great service, and I want to touch on that and go through a few key points for you. So our ultimate protection at the best value with DAC Protect. Secure your identity today. Did you know that identity theft and cybercrime is the #1 crime in the world? What is identity theft? Well, it is officially defined as the deliberate assumption of another person's identity. It is a crime where an individual acquires and uses the victim's personal information, such as a social security or driver's license number, and then they take out loans, obtain new credit cards, rent an apartment, purchase a car, could purchase a house, and run up debt. file for bankruptcy, and other criminal activities. Identity theft can not only damage someone's creditworthiness, it can also create unknown criminal records that can result in the identity theft victim being wrongly arrested or denied employment after a routine background check. Firsthand story, I've been with Legal Shield for years. Legal Shield has an identity theft program, and I really took a deep dive into learning about ID theft because of my involvement with them. If you're not familiar with Legal Shield, they have they used to be Prepaid Legal. They've rebranded. They still are Prepaid Legal as far as the company goes, but they have a prepaid legal plan and identity theft. They go hand in hand because identity theft usually results in needing an attorney. Well, our program has the attorney built into it as part of the restoration. But one thing that I learned firsthand, and this was here in Atlanta, in the market I live in, there was a lady, she became a client with Legal Shield. She was headed up one of the major interstates and got pulled over for speeding. When the officer ran her driver's license number, he came up and asked her to step out of the car. He ended up putting her under arrest and taking her to jail from the side of the road for a crime that she didn't commit. How was that? Well, somebody had stolen her identity, used her driver's license information, had gotten a DUI in another state. And when the officer here in Georgia ran her driver's license information, it showed that there was a bench warrant out for her for not showing up in court, right? So she ended up spending the night in jail for something that she didn't even do. Can you imagine if that happened to you, how disruptive that would be to your life and how chaotic it would be trying to prove your innocence when it was a police record, right? How much money you would probably have to spend in attorney's fees trying to clear your good name. Well, our ID Protect product does that for you. So that's one of the values of having our product. The other one is Social Security fraud. And we saw a lot of fraud when COVID hit 2 years ago. People were filing for the PPP Paycheck Protection Program. And there was so much fraud involved in that people were using other people's information, getting PPP money, and then when the real person would go to apply for it, they would see that they weren't eligible because somebody else had stolen their identity. Now you've got potential loan that may need to get paid back if it wasn't legitimate, right? So a whole lot of things can happen outside of that. So it's not just money disappearing from your bank account. So let's cover that real quick. How is identity theft different from financial fraud? The term financial fraud covers common credit card checks and debit card fraud. When a criminal uses your credit cards or debit cards to make a purchase, he or she usually hasn't assumed your identity. And recovering from financial fraud is usually easy since most creditors don't hold you liable for fraudulent charges. These days, financial fraud is increasingly grouped into the same category as serious identity theft. These crimes alone cost businesses $27.6 billion and cost consumers $5 billion directly in losses every year. So again, it's the #1 crime in the world. And we have a phenomenal program to protect users from that. So let me go over and open up the website real quick. Take you to our DAC Protect. Okay, so to find that, you can either click on the little the hamburger menu, I call it, in the top right, where you've got your ID Protect here, or you can scroll to the bottom of your David Allen Capital page and go down to additional services and click on ID Protect here. Okay, when you open up that page, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? A highlight about the #1 crime in the world and our pricing model. It automatically defaults to a monthly pricing model, but you can toggle over here to annual pricing. If someone subscribes and buys an annual plan, they're actually going to get 1 month for free. So there is a discount, 1 month discount if they go with the annual plan. Now, all of the differences are covered here. you've got your standard. Let's look at the monthly plans. We've got prices starting as low as $9.99 for this individual standard plan, or for the individual plus plan is $24.99. So those are the two differences on individual plans. And then we have our family plans, where the standard starts at $18.99 and the family plus starts at $49.99. Has a side-by-side comparison of what each of these are. It has a digital software, digital file shredder, digital file vault, online parental controls, monthly credit scores. You know, there's a whole list of things there. And if you compare this to LifeLock, our program has the same or better coverage than LifeLock. One other thing that our program covers that I'm not hearing as many commercials right now as I was hearing, but there's the home title lock. Some news channels are advertising, you know, do you know that someone could steal your home? You need to buy home title lock. Well, this included in our plan. So if you have our ID theft protection product and someone tries to do that home title loan switch out, you're covered up to $1 million in insurance on the ID theft. So that's included in our program. How it works, monitoring and alerting, just do the little drop down boxes and so on. And then when you do order now, it's real simple. They're going to select whether they want monthly or annual plans, select start the membership, and then you're filling out a form. It's automatically going to go over with the final cost. Click on checkout. And then you're going to enter in payment information, address. That's automatically defaulted my agent ID number, which is not correct. But anyway, you fill that out. It's a checkout screen. You get to the last page of it. Click submit. You'll see the page is spinning and it's working. And then it'll say, congratulations. As soon as the order is completed, then you're going to have 2 emails will be sent. One will be from David Allen Capital. There'll be a link over to the agent or to the back office login, because they are a retail customer and have ability to log in there. But the one that they really want to look for is the Welcome to DAC Protect. And that's going to give them their access to their login so that they can go in and start the credit monitoring and set up all the different accounts where they want their emails monitored, whether they want their Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those different social media accounts monitored, bank accounts. You can add all of that personal information in that account center there. So that's what I wanted to have as a topic tonight. I'm going to open up and see if anybody's got any questions or comments.
Ellen, I have a couple of comments regarding the identity theft. One, a couple of different things. One, whenever you go and initially do the sign up, you don't need to put in your social security number until you get into the DAC Protect website. So it's a great thing to give to somebody as a gift. But the other thing is, if you have an elderly parent where you are concerned about them potentially giving money away or being charged for things that they shouldn't, you can set up where it will monitor the bank accounts and the credit cards so that you can monitor that for your parent, you know, if they're having some memory issues or something like that. Just something as a peace of mind.
Awesome. Things you don't think about sometimes. Thanks for that.
Yeah, well, a lot of times, you know, elderly are targeted for different things. So that's always a huge problem. And it's difficult as a child to sometimes go and ask them to let you log into their bank account. But if you set something up like that one time, you don't have to, they don't have to know that you're constantly tracking it for them.
There you go. Good stuff.
So
Awesome. Well, on our program, I mentioned Legal Shield. I had our ID theft program at the same time that I had legal shields for a long time, or ID Shield, and ours is as good or better than their product. And they've had that product out there for years and years. So know you're in good hands with our program at a better price than what you get through LifeLock. Plus, if you've got LifeLock right now, is LifeLock paying you money to use their service, or are you just totally paying them, right? Because you get commissioned back on your own service if you become your own customer here with DAC. All of that volume, whatever plan you sign up with, goes towards your qualifications in the compensation plan. So good stuff. All right, guys, any questions, comments, anything going on you want to share with everybody tonight? Who's had some good conversations that they would like to share? Some of you were plugging in. I did the Power Hour last week before last. I'm sorry, my schedule has just been ridiculously crazy over the past week. So I wasn't able to do those like I wanted to. I think I'm going to wait till we get our app and our launch of the RX program before we do those again, just because it was time consuming, and I've just got a crazy schedule going here. But we should have that launched here by the 1st of the month. We're hoping to see the RX program. That'll be 2 weeks out. And we're also hoping to see a live app coming very soon as well. So good stuff there. But don't be waiting until that stuff launches. You need to be actively getting customers. Have you had conversations with people about healthcare? What are you guys doing for healthcare, right? David mentioned today, and I've mentioned this too, you know, when you're talking to somebody about healthcare, people that you know, even if they have healthcare through their employer, it might mean that you could do a comparison and say, hey, if we could save you some money, do you think your employer, and give you a better plan, do you think your employer might be willing to contribute towards a private plan instead of you having to be in the plan that they're on? Because if you could take them down to say $400 and their employer is paying $300 of that each month, now they'd have $100 out of pocket, versus if they were on a $600 plan and they were having to pay $300 out of pocket, right? So you want to think outside the box on our healthcare product. I called today, speaking of healthcare, as a member of the local chamber, our state has what they call a smart plan that's available for chamber members. And I called to get some information on that today, and it's not available for individuals. It's only available if you've got 2 or more employees that are not married. They can't be related by marriage, right? So it couldn't be a husband and wife counting as 2. They would be 1. So they have to have 2 or more W-2 employees. Now, that's not our plan. That's the plan that I'm talking about through the chamber. So we've got an advantage. We've got a competitive advantage on that because we have a plan that's available for one person, whether they are a business owner or whether it's your next door neighbor or a relative. As long as they're between the ages of 18 and 65, chances are we've got a plan that will get them covered. Okay. I see your messages there, Reese. Yeah, I'll try to reach out to you. I can't promise it'll be tonight though. It's been a really long day and I've been going long. So, all right. I see Jesse's got a hand up. Hey, Jesse, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, hey, Ellen. I'm doing good.
Good.
So I have a question for you. I was talking to a business owner earlier, about his employees joining the health share program. He is on Medicare. There isn't anything, you wouldn't necessarily recommend the health share program for him if he's on Medicare already?
Yeah, right. If they're on Medicare, either through disability or because they've hit 65, then we're not the right plan for them. Because if they're on disability, then they've got some health issues there that would prevent our health share program from being a great fit for them. But no, not good for Medicare. Hey, I want to make a comment on that. That reminded me when I was talking to this insurance agent asking about the chamber plan. He said, well, do you currently have coverage? And I said, I do. I'm currently on a health share program. Now, I was calling strictly to get some direct information from them so that I had side-by-side comparison. As I'm active in my chamber, people are asking me and saying, well, how does yours compare to what the chamber offers, right? So I was wanting to see firsthand, and I was going to get a quote. But obviously one person didn't qualify for the two. So he said, do you currently have an insurance plan? And I said, absolutely. I said, I would be foolish to not have a healthcare plan. I've always had a healthcare plan since I was out on my own, because there's too much financial risk if you do not have the right healthcare plan, right? And he said, now I see why you're an entrepreneur. He said, you're smart. You understand the repercussions of not having your finances covered with the right insurance products, right? And I said, yeah. He said, well, what do you have? And I said, well, I have a health share plan. And he said, oh, health shares are great as long as you don't have a catastrophic situation that runs into high medical costs that exceed what your health share plan will pay. And I just played along with it. I didn't say, oh, well, mine's unlimited, and didn't get into that. That's another conversation, right? But he had positive things to say about health share, unless you're in one of these that have restrictions. And ours doesn't have any restrictions. We don't have a cap on how much it will pay. So just know we've got a great program out here to be talking to business owners. So Jesse, any other questions other than that question on the Medicare client?
Yeah. So his question was more so about the price comparison in regards to like the difference between our plan prices and like affordable health care.
Yeah, that's
because
real
right
simple.
now he said he said that his employees are on the affordable health care because he doesn't actually provide the insurance for them.
Right. So one of two things. They may be on the ACA plan through healthcare.gov. Is that what he meant? They were buying it on their own?
Yes.
Okay. Then if they're buying it through their own there, maybe they're in a reduced income situation where they qualify for a big tax advantage. However, I'll say this, and I've shared this before, just because somebody is buying their health care through healthcare.gov doesn't mean it's a great deal unless they're paying nearly nothing for it. Okay. Example, I have a friend who is currently paying $400 a month for his insurance through healthcare.gov. His insurance, he's on a $1,300 a month plan, right? But because of the tax credits, he's only having to pay $400 a month. So he thinks that's a good deal until he risks the possibility of his income going over what he projected and him having to pay back those tax credits. So he's really in a situation where he could have to pay back up to $900 a month, the difference between the $1,300 total cost of the plan he's on and the $400 that he's paying because he got a $900 per month tax credit, right? He could potentially have to pay that $900 back times 12 months back to the IRS. So what seems to be a good deal on healthcare.gov could come back and haunt you if your income went up. Also, that plan that they're paying for may be a high deductible plan. So I always encourage people, if they're on healthcare.gov, unless they've got a nearly free plan because they've got lower income and qualified for that maximum tax credit, to do a price comparison with us. It's as simple as going over to the DAC Healthcare website and either clicking on get a quote or schedule a call. I prefer the schedule a call because when they schedule a call and spend a few minutes on the phone with our healthcare team, they're going to get a quote while they're live on the call, but they're also going to be able to ask questions and see some differences in that. If you do just get a quote on the website, you get a static number, meaning whatever you say you want to get a quote for, that's the quote that you get back, and you don't have the flexibility to say, oh, well, what if I reduce this or I increase this? It doesn't give you a sliding scale. I do hear that they're working on making some changes to how that platform interacts with the client. I heard that from one of the Clearwater team members, but I don't know exactly what's going to come into play when they do that. But I would suggest doing get a scheduled call, So there's flexibility and they can get their questions answered.
Is it okay if I do that for him or for the client
You can.
while I'm talking to them?
You can fill out the form for them. Okay. You just need them on the phone. And let's walk through that. I'm going to pull up screen share. Let me go get out of the shopping cart. We're going to go back up to the little hamburger menu here. And we're going to go to health share. So Jesse, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Jesse, you see it in my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so you're talking to the client and they want to get a quote or they want to talk to somebody. I always go in and do the schedule a call myself because I'd much rather, well, I've got somebody that's actively saying they want to talk to somebody. I'd rather go ahead and fill in the form and get it scheduled. So you just put in their name, first name, last name, email, phone number, and then click continue. When you click continue, it's going to go over to give you the ability to answer a few questions about their health. You can certainly ask those questions yourself and just say, hey, it's asking for a few bits and pieces about your health care. Do you mind answering a few questions? You can go through, answer those, and then it's going to click on schedule a call. You'll open up a calendar and say, hey, there's even times available today if you want to do a call as early as today. And you give them those time slots, you can go ahead and select it. It'll ask you to give information again about the client, their name, their email address. Jesse, if you want to be in on the calls with them, if you feel that's appropriate, you can even add your email address in there. It gives you an opportunity to add other people to the call. I've got a group on a call on Thursday. It's 4 different people, part of a family. They all work together. And I added each one of those emails in separately. So they're all going to be on their own little Zoom, whether they're on their mobile or whatever. And I'm going to be a part of it too. So it's real easy to add that in. When you click continue or schedule call, everybody that you add in an email will get an email automatically sent out scheduling their one-on-one Zoom with a link to join. And then you know who you're connected with for who that person is going to be doing the Zoom call with your client. So real easy to do. But yeah, great question. Anything else?
All right, thank you. Yeah, and he also is going to introduce me to a local BNI group so I can be connected to those groups. So that was a pretty good win for today.
Yeah, well, congratulations. And, you know, you did the hardest part, which was getting out there and talking to people. And once you start talking, you never know where one conversation is going to lead you, as you just shared a prime example of that. So congratulations, Jesse. That's a win for the day for sure. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I see Adora's got a hand up. I'm going to ask
Actually, Ellen, I'm going to make a quick comment for Jesse. While the Medicare person is not eligible for our health share plan, when the RX program comes out, they would be eligible for that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. Hey, Adora.
Okay. Hi, Ellen. Just a quick question. I think if I remember on Friday, David said something about we going the affiliate route. So I wanted to find out, are we still going to be networking, or they are canceling the networking aspect and just, you know, concentrating on affiliates?
Yeah, no, great question. So several months back, David went to a event out in Texas where some company leaders were invited in, industry leaders in the network marketing space. Select group was invited into this meeting, and it was really kind of a roundtable with these company leaders talking about what's going on in their business and where they see the industry going and so on. That's actually where David met the Clearwater team for our healthcare program, right? But he shared conversations that he had from that meeting, and he said, as a whole, the company, the whole industry is moving towards more of an affiliate model, right? Because that's the term that so many people are familiar with today, and a lot of people want to just be affiliates and market themselves. They don't want to build teams. They don't want to worry with team building or any of that. So affiliates are common in the marketplace. So we're moving in that terminology, but yes, we're still going to have the network marketing model, the compensation plan that we have, and the ability to go build mass organizations. Because otherwise, if we were just an affiliate program, that would mean that everybody would go directly to DAC for support and all of that. And he's really relying on those of us that are team leaders out here in the field to create that personal connection and give that extra layer of support to everybody. So I don't think anything's going to change in here, just more of a terminology change. But that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because I'm sure you're not the only one that was thinking that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you bet. I know Harlequin and I talked about that after he had made that comment. We talked through, and same thing. She was thinking that people might have some concern over that. So, all right. Anybody else got questions before we wrap up?
Actually, Ellen, I had some questions in the chat, and
Okay.
one of them was, am I an affiliate or an independent agent? The other question, and I'd answered these for the
Answer
people.
is you're an independent agent. So
Yeah. And then it has recently been announced that with Giggle, with the instant funding, after the client accepts the offer, they will be doing a hard credit pull, but that does not impact any of the other lenders going through Bank Breezy. So that was another question. And then somebody was asking about Spanish speaking assistance for healthcare. And we've been told to put in the notes when you're scheduling the call to add in that they need a Spanish speaking agent. So those were the questions I had today in the chat.
good stuff. Let me see. I'm going over to the funding quick reference sheet to see they were going to update the content on there about a hard credit pull, because from day one, DAC has always said we only do a soft FICO pull, right? Well, that has changed with Giggle, and I'm not sure that I see that added in there. I don't see it. It may be added in on the general overview, but I don't see it added in specifically on Giggle yet.
Yeah, they have not changed the date of the document. So I'm guessing that they haven't done that. Because I asked them about that on Friday, and I know that David's entire family was at a wedding Friday afternoon, so they probably didn't have a chance to do it before they went out of town or before they went to the event.
Yeah, and if that doesn't get updated, just remind them, Harlequin, since you brought that to his attention, you can stay on top of that if you will, please.
Yep.
That's a good job of that. All right. I don't see any other questions. We'll wrap up. Guys, I'm going to get this recording out and get it posted on my YouTube channel. I see some familiar faces that I haven't seen in a while, and names on the list that I haven't seen in a while. So it's good to see all of you, and look forward to continuing to see you. Okay. Look for you on Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. with Wade, and then Friday, our agent update at the end of the week. Okay. Take care, everyone. Have a blessed evening. We'll see you on the next Zoom.